Fancy seeing you here. It's been a long time since you broke into my apartment. How are you doing? Where do I begin with this video? Listen, this project is something I've had in my brain for the longest time. And it's finally here. Let me give you a little backstory. Back in 2020, I made that Coraline doll. And I had that sculpting bug. I really wanted to sculpt, but that died very fast. But it gave me this really good idea. At the time, I had a whole bunch of oil pastels. A ton of oil pastels that I no longer use. They were either too old and super dry, or they were just really bad quality. I am not calling any specific brand out, but I did post a review of them. Anyways, why not sculpt something and make molds in oil pastel? Sparks fly and think electricity. I feel like a genius. I've seen crayons, markers, colored pencils, sculptures, right? I have never seen an oil pastel sculpture. But then I actually had to do it. I actually had to make the thing. And that's what I'm about to show you. The struggles are real in this video. Bear with me, I don't know how to do half this stuff. So with all that being said, we're gonna make a sculpture, we're gonna cast the sculpture, and we're gonna make molds of the sculpture in oil pastel. Did you hear me? These sculptures are gonna be made out of oil pastel. Do you want me to repeat it? Go get your creative stuff out. Pencil, pen, come get creative with me. Meet me at the desk and bring something to drink. Welcome to the voiceover section of the video. So these are my sketches. The first three are kind of like the ideas. I ended up choosing this one because I like the position of the eye. And then I did some different vantage points of the sculpture so I could get an idea. And that's it. These are my utensils that I used. I have tinfoil, wire, sculpting tools that I stole. Then I got clay. This is a good clay. Then I got some wire cutters and some alcohol, because it makes the clay smooth. So let's begin. So first I, opened up the tinfoil and started making little balls. As you can see, that's a lot of sheets. Make little balls and kind of just build up the skeleton of the figure so it's not so heavy. You know what I mean? So I started building and making these balls and stuff. I'm gonna shut up and just let y'all watch. I also had to figure out how to make it stand, so I kind of used these wires to, I don't know what I was doing, but it worked. So, it looks like a little baby spider, so I wrapped some wire around it and then just wrapped it in tinfoil. That's the best I could do. That's the most thought that I wanted to put into making this skeleton. So I was getting a little confident because look how cute it looks so far. Okay, now I'm gonna start covering in clay. I'm gonna do a base and then I'm gonna put in the oven, as you'll see, and then start working on some of the detail feet. Damn, that's a loud ass bird. So now that she's all baked, it's time for the details, which is one of the hardest parts. This is like the fourth time or fifth time I've ever sculpted, so bear with me. I did some sanding, so I made sure it was all smooth as possible. Make sure you wear a mask when you're sanding anything, because I breathe a lot of this stuff in. Yep. So we got the lips done, the eyes, the nose. I thought I was done. I thought I was ready to, bake it. But then I forget, how is this dude gonna see? Has no pupils, and this took at least 10 years off of my life. I pretty much had to redo the eye after doing these because it messed it up. So this was the next day after I baked it. I thought it looked really cool, but it was missing something. A booty and some hair. So I went ahead and chopped off the wires for the legs because I wanted them to be a little stumpy. Did the legs first because, I didn't want my butt getting messed up if I didn't have nothing to stand on. You know what I mean? You can't have legs without a butt, or a butt without legs. Or maybe you can. I'm not a doctor, I don't know. Talk to your GP, I don't know what to tell you. Oven time. It's time to get baked. This is it. And now it's time for the booty. I gotta make the booty. Before you roast me, I'm not into anatomy that much, so I don't really know what a butt looks like. Someone said I gave him a BBL, so I'm gonna take that as a compliment. My little man is thick, okay? So I lost the footage of me making the hair, but pretty much I made like this little lace front wig for him, and it started like merging it down with a little bit of alcohol, and it worked perfect. I made these little holes with the paintbrush to add some texture because it was looking a little flat, but I really like how it turned out. And the booty, look at the booty, and this is it. This is what it looks like all baked up. Gave him a little tap for good luck. I really like the nose. The nose is probably my favorite part. Anyways, moving on. This was the death of me. This is when I wanted to end it all. And I will explain more later. But pretty much I put this thing in a bucket and I tried to, fill it up with silicone to make a mold. It's mold making time. Interrupting. I just need to give you the rundown of what's happening in this clip. It was a disaster. Now, silicone is not cheap by any means. Let me tell you what went wrong. The silicone was leaking from the bucket. I ran out of silicone. And the damn sculpture started floating. I tried my best to weigh it down. But it go back down. There was silicone everywhere. I was all sticky and not in a good way. I wanted to cry. So this is what the mold looked like. As you can see, it's a little ugly. I also had no idea how to take this damn thing out, but I was told to make rivets so like latch together something. So anyways, I kind of messed it up. Even though I know this was gonna be trash, I had to test it out. So I mixed up some plaster. I hate plaster. Also something I breathe a lot in this process. And surprise, surprise, it came out like trash. Not smooth, bubbles everywhere. This is after me cleaning it. But a couple days go by, I did not give up. I went and ordered more silicone. It came a couple days later, and I did it again. But this time, I actually made a good mold, and this is what this is. This was it. Make sure to watch to the end. We're gonna have a preview on next week's video. Now back to the video. Now it's time to start prepping our oil pastels. These are all the old ones that I had. There was a lot more that I did not show because they were in like this bucket thing that I was using. These are so old, and some of them are just such bad quality of oil pastels. There's nothing I could do with them. So why not reduce, reuse, and recycle? This also took forever because I had to unwrap every single oil pastel. My hands were nasty, but it was very soothing. And this was kind of emotional for some reason, but this is the first time I'm seeing this box like empty. It's been full for like a decade. So here's all the oil pastels, all my colors. But you're probably thinking to yourself, wait a second, we're missing a specific color. Don't ask, I'll explain later, I promise. But I had to figure out how to melt these oil pastels in a very safe way. I didn't end up doing that, so I ended up just chopping them all up. And this is actually very satisfying, so I'm gonna shut up for a bit and let y'all watch. Was that not kind of satisfying? Look at this golden yellow mountain. Ooh, it's so pretty. So I got out my handy dandy bucket and filled the bucket with my crumbs. Yeah, isn't that neat? Oof, that's satisfying too. I have this little silicone thing that I know can withstand a lot of high temperatures because I've used this a lot in the past. So I said, let me just put this on the stove. So I put it on the stove, let it melt, and it took forever to melt. But sooner or later it started working. I added some more, melted it again. Then I made sure my mold was nice and tight and put together so there wasn't no crazy seams. I used that with rubber bands because that's what I saw people on YouTube doing. It was very hot. That little silicone thing got boiling. And then I just poured it. I just poured the gold fluid in the thing and just kept on repeating the process over and over again until the thing was full. And I probably had to do it maybe like three or four times. Actually, maybe 5. I don't know. I can't remember. It's time. It's time to see if it worked. So okay, Dan, quit. That went on for so long. Anyways, this is what it looked like. I was so nervous that it was like gonna be all nasty, but check it out. Oh, it looks so cool. That is 100% oil pastel, baby. So the reason why you didn't see any green is because I actually used green as a tester because I wanted to see if it worked, and I don't like green. So I said, why not sacrifice green? It will take one for the team. Ooh, that rhymed. But it ended up turning out super cool too. Check it out. And then I just repeated the whole process once again with different colors. So I'm gonna let y'all watch and enjoy. So a quick fun fact about this one is I was running out of oil pastel and I did not think this was going to turn out good. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to record it. I'm just going to, pour a whole bunch of stuff in it and see what works. I actually used chalk pastel for the legs because I was running out. And y'all, listen. This has to be the coolest one out of all of them. Look at that. Oh my gosh. The layers. It looks like he's crying. Oh, it looks like rock. Oh, it was so neat. This one is probably my absolute favorite. This one was not it. I was not a fan of this one at all. Cause I just had like the grays, the whites, and the blacks left, and I was like, oh, I want to make something interesting. I literally had no oil pastels left, so I took all these really bad chalk pastels that I had from like 10 years ago, and I tried to fill up the volume so I don't have to use that many oil pastels. PSA: do not put silver or gold oil pastels in the microwave. I'm not gonna explain. It was alright. I mean, it was kind of, yeah. Oh, you're still here. So, the footage you just saw was back in April. I did all of that in a span of like 2.5 weeks back in April. Now we gotta fast forward 5 and 6 months because your boy was lazy as hell and didn't want to touch these things. I thought some of them looked cool. Others were a little boring. I just didn't know what to do with these things. I was staring at them. Listen, I was staring at them for like months. But nothing popped in my head until I was thinking about oil paint. Why not oil paint on them? I mean, it's oil pastel. Ding, ding, ding. Give me a crown. So, just last week, I started oil painting them. Best decision I've ever made. But the first thing I needed to do was clean them up because they had like a lot of crumbs everywhere, and a lot of them just had these weird holes that I tried to fix. Now it's time to paint, which gave me a lot of anxiety because I did not know how I wanted to paint these. I needed them to pop. They felt like they were missing something, but at the same time, I wanted to keep a lot of the texture, the layers of the oil pastels that I melted down that you could see through. So I didn't want to ruin them, but they were missing a little je ne sais quoi.
So after painting all of them, something was still feeling like it was missing. It was missing that liveliness. So I got some UV resin. First time me using UV resin, I know. I already know what you're about to say. I know. I'll be safer next time. Let me live. Let me live. It's me, not you. Don't do as I do. Do not do as I do. But when I tell you, it came to life. Check this out. Isn't that creepy? It looks like he's about to blink, huh? So I pretty much added resin to every single one of them to the eyes, but something else was also missing. It felt like there was a lot of shininess on the eyes, but not enough everywhere else. So what I did was I put some gloss varnish, acrylic gloss varnish on the nose, and I'll let y'all watch because the reveal, I love it so much. Also, it looks like he's watching TV. Look at, oh, they're watching TV.
And that's it, the story of this very long, stressful project. I will say it was very fulfilling seeing the end of this project, and also a lot of ideas and skills that I gathered along the way. And of course, I hope you guys had fun with me because I was stressed out. In my opinion, the big takeaway from this video is if you believe in a project, if you have an idea that you believe in so much, give it some time. Although I do believe that if you have a project that's not working out, restart. You're an artist, you can do it again. On the other hand, I do believe that if you let a project sit with you long enough, you will start to get these ideas you never thought you would get that can take your project to a different level. Did that make sense? Also, this is my favorite one. And then this blue one has to be a very close second. It's literally 3 a.m. Y'all think I'm lying. It's 3 a.m. right now. In that case, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, click that little bell so you know when I post because I am a little random. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns or suggestions on what I should do next because I like your suggestions. It's also spooky season. Also, don't forget I have a Patreon. I'm only opening it for the holiday season, so come get spooky and festive with me. I think that's it. Don't forget about part 2 because it's about to get spooky and spicy up in here. Bye.